My dear students, welcome to my today's online class on the general characters and classification up to the level of classes of the phylum Protozoa. And when I talk about the classification, I'll be giving suitable examples. Okay? So, let me introduce myself first. I am Dr. MEERA B K, Associate Professor and Head of the Department of Zoology, Maharani's Science College for Women, Palace Road, Bangalore 1. So today we are going to discuss about the first phylum, first invertebrate phylum, that is Protozoa, its general characters and its classification up to the level of classes. This is the quota for us today to learn. Okay. You can see my mobile number and email ID. You can contact me for any clarifications if there is, either through these avenues or you can contact me over my personal WhatsApp. Okay. You can see some of the protozoans here. Just as introductory class, it is popping up. You can see amoeba, you can see euglena, you can see paramecium, you can see a sporozoan like this, entamoeba, all that. So these are all the organisms which belong to the phylum Protozoa. Okay. Now let us start our class. The Protozoa. Proto means first, zoon means animal. It is a Greek word. See, most of these terms in biology happen to be the Greek or Latin words, and if you learn how to split and understand the meaning, 50% of your burden is over. And this branch, where you split the word and understand the meaning, is called etymology. So the etymology of Protozoa goes like this. Protos means first, zoon means animals. These are the primitive unicellular animals with a protoplast grade of organization, like protoplast grade, cellular grade, tissue grade organizations, many are there. Since this being the primitive group of animals, you see protoplast grade of organization. There is a separate chapter for this. Another teacher will teach. Okay. So here again I have shown you few protozoans here. Verticilla, paramecium, okay, Chlamydomonas, euglena, like this. These are few protozoans to make you familiarize with these animals. Now, let us start our class with the understanding of general characters of protozoans. Okay. To begin with, these are microscopic unicellular forms with varied shapes. Microscopic unicellular forms with varied shapes. Microscopic means you will be able to see them only under the microscope. With naked eyes, you cannot see them. Unicellular. Uni means one, cellular means cell. The whole body is made up of a single cell. That's what I meant by unicellular. Microscopic unicellular forms with varied shapes. The shape varies. You must be knowing by now that amoeba is shapeless. It keeps changing its shape. Whereas euglena, paramecium, they have a perfect shape, right? So this is the first character of protozoans. Then, distribution wise, they are cosmopolitan. Cosmopolitan means they are found in all possible habitats. There is one more term to refer to the cosmopolitan nature of distribution. that is ubiquitous. Ubiquitous also mean cosmopolitan only. Some forms are marine, that means they live in seawater. Some forms are freshwater, they live in freshwater. Some of them do live in soil, moist, damp soil. They are terrestrial. And some of them are parasitic on plants and animals. Okay. Now, to give you example, Noctiluca is a marine form. Paramecium is a freshwater form. Then Biomixa, Diphalugia, Verticella, these are all the soil protozoans. Monocystis is a parasitic protozoan. Okay. Like this, they have inhabited almost all different types of habitats. Therefore, we say they are cosmopolitan or ubiquitous in distribution. Okay. Students, note down, you will have to answer one mark questions. So, they may ask to quote an example for a marine protozoan form like this. You better take paper and pen and chat down because the examples are not there on the slide. I'll be telling you and you have to make a note of it. Then, the third character is they are either solitary or they are colonial. That means they live singly or they live in groups. Amoeba is the best example for solitary protozoan. Volvox, which is an algae, is the best example for colonial forms. Okay. Then, fourth character, they are either uninucleate or binucleate or multinucleate. Let us see what exactly I mean by this. Uni means one, nucleate means nucleus. Some of the protozoans, like Euglena, they have a single nucleus. Okay. Such forms are called uninucleate protozoans. On the other hand, Paramecium has two nuclei, nucleus singular, nuclei plural. One micronucleus, other one macronucleus. The condition is binucleate. And there is one protozoan called Opalina. Opalina is the best example for multinucleate, where you find more than two nuclei. Okay. So they are either uninucleate with one nucleus or binucleate with two nuclei or multinucleate with more nuclei. Okay. This is the fourth character. Then the body is covered by a membrane called plasma membrane or plasmalemma, like say for example in amoeba, which doesn't have a definite shape. The outermost covering is known as plasma membrane or plasmalemma, which binds the cell. But in some protozoans where the shape is definite, like Paramecium or Verticella, they have a tough pellicle. They have a tough pellicle that gives them a proper shape. And there are some other protozoans like Elphidium which have a shell or test around them. So, the body is covered by either plasma membrane or plasmalemma or a pellicle or a shell, depending upon the particular type of protozoan under consideration. Okay. Hope you are understanding, students. Then, now let us talk about nutrition. The mode of intake of food. There are different types of nutrition modes. Let us discuss one by one. First type is holozoic type of nutrition. That is, such protozoans ingest solid food like bacteria or algae That type of nutrition is called holozoic. They take in solid food, just like that. Best example for holozoic nutrition is amoeba. Then the second type, holophytic or autotrophic. These protozoans are capable of synthesizing their own food as they have inbuilt chloroplast, and in presence of sunlight they are able to manufacture their food. Okay, such protozoans are called holophytic or autotrophic protozoans. Best examples Euglena, Volvox, Chlamydomonas, etc. Then the third type of nutrition pattern happens to be saprozoic. Saprozoic, or it's also called osmotrophy. It is not there on the slide. Please note down. Saprozoic nutrition or osmotrophy. Here, the organisms feed on dead or decaying matter. Dead or decaying matter. Best example for this happen to be Balantidium coli. Balantidium coli and Entamoeba histolytica. Okay. If you don't know the spellings, don't get tensed up. Once the lecture is through, I am going to provide you with the study material. In that, all these names will be there. All the protozoans spellings will be there. You can just note down. Okay, don't worry. Then, the fourth type of nutrition happens to be mixotrophic nutrition, that is combination of any two types of feeding mechanism. Combination of any two types of feeding mechanisms, like they are at times holozoic and at times holophytic, like that. Okay, that type of nutrition is called mixotrophic nutrition. Okay, for example, Euglena gracilis is the one which exhibits mixotrophic type of nutrition. Okay. After learning about different types of nutrition patterns, you should know digestion is intracellular. The digestion takes place inside the cell, and it occurs within a specialized vacuolar structures called food vacuoles. So we say digestion is intracellular, occurring inside the food vacuoles. In our previous classes, you must have learnt about cyclosis, the particular type of movement of food vacuoles in a paramecium cell, right? So, right now you should know that digestion is intracellular and it occurs inside specialized vacuolar structures called food vacuoles. Okay? Then, next character, respiration. Respiration takes place by diffusion. See, basically most of them are aquatic. Okay, respiration, that is exchange of gases, takes place by diffusion. Then, ninth character, the excretion takes place either through general body surface, okay, or through special structures called contractile vacuoles, right? Now, here you should know the difference between the term excretion and the term egestion. Throwing out of metabolic wastes like ammonia, urea, uric acid, etc. is known as excretion. Okay, and that happens in protozoans through general body surface, okay, or through special structures called contractile vacuoles. Whereas throwing out of undigested food is egestion. So please note, excretion and egestion are not same. Excretion is not throwing out of undigested food. It is disposable of metabolic wastes. Okay. So it happens through general body surface or through contractile vacuoles. These contractile vacuoles are special structures basically meant for osmoregulation. What is osmoregulation? Maintenance of equilibrium, ionic equilibrium in the body fluids is known as osmoregulation, and that is taken care of by contractile vacuoles. See, especially in freshwater protozoans, the water from outside gets into the cell, so there is accumulation of excess water inside the cell. That excess water needs to be thrown out to maintain the ionic balance, and that is taken care of by contractile vacuoles. So they are more pronounced, contractile vacuoles are more pronounced in freshwater forms than in other protozoans. Okay. So excretion either through general body surface or through contractile vacuoles, and the contractile vacuoles, apart from serving as excretory structures, primarily they take care of osmoregulation. Please note this. So there is scope to ask lot of 1-mark question in this chapter. Students, do some homework, make some multiple choice questions and try to answer them. Okay? Then, locomotion, that is movement, occurs due to locomotory organs. The way you walk with your legs, in the same way, there are special structures present in protozoans which serve the purpose of locomotion. Okay? They are in the form of either cilia, cilia plural, cilium singular, or in the form of flagella, flagella plural, flagellum singular, or in the form of pseudopodia, pseudopodia plural, pseudopodia singular. Okay? However, these locomotory organelles are wanting in some forms. Locomotory organelles are wanting in some forms. That means you don't find any locomotory structures in few protozoans. In fact, please note, the type of locomotory structures present in protozoans forms the criteria for classification of these organisms into different classes. Okay? So this is a taxonomic feature. Alright? This is a taxonomic feature. Depending upon the type of locomotory organelle present, you assign a particular protozoan to a particular class. That's what I meant by taxonomic feature. Okay? Cilia in case of verticilla, paramecium, flagella in case of euglena, pseudopodia in case of amoeba. Okay? Then, coming to reproduction. There are both the methods seen in this group, asexual as well as sexual. Asexual reproduction takes place normally either by binary fission or multiple fission or budding. Okay? In euglena, you see binary fission, that is longitudinal binary fission. In paramecium, you see horizontal or transverse binary fission. In amoeba, you see simple binary fission. Okay? So, binary fission is one of the methods for asexual reproduction, and in few forms, you do see multiple fission. Best example, foraminiferans. Okay, foraminifera. There is an order called foraminifera. These are shelled protozoans, and in them you see this multiple fission, which is a method of asexual reproduction. Okay. Then, second method is through bisexual means, either through conjugation or through syngamy. Conjugation is normally seen in paramecium. Syngamy, see, there are different types of syngamy. Normally, one particular of syngamy called isogamy is seen in Elphidium. Alright. Then the third method of reproduction is cyst formation. Many parasitic and freshwater farms exhibit cyst formation method of reproduction. Best example is Plasmodium. Alright. So these are the various methods of reproduction. Now, after having learnt about the general characters, now it is the time for us to learn about classification. See, previously there was one method of classification I am going to teach, and as per the syllabus you better know this, study this. Then I will also teach modern method of classification of the phylum. Better you know that also. Okay, but don't get confused. Okay. So previously phylum Protozoa was classified into four classes based on the type of locomotory organelles they possess. Okay. So you can see a diagram here, flowchart. Protozoa is divided into four groups: flagellated protozoans, flagellata; amoeboid protozoans, that is Sarcodyna or Rhizopoda; then sporozoans, no locomotory organs in them; then ciliated protozoans like Ciliata, Paramecium or Verticilla, etc. Let us study in detail the classification pattern. Yeah, class 1, Rhizopoda or Sarcodyna. Rhizopoda or Sarcodyna, they are both mean the same. Here, Pseudopodia happen to be the locomotory organelle. Best example, amoeba, entamoeba, Elphidium, etc. And please note, all these zoological names should be written in italics, or they should be written in capitals and underlined according to ICZN. There is an organization called ICZN, International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. They have given certain principles to name, scientifically name a particular animal. According to that, you should write all zoological binomial nomenclatures in italics. Okay? Then, class Mastigophora or Flagellata, both mean the same. Here, the locomotory organs are flagella. Best example, Euglena, Noctiluca, Trypanosoma, etc. Then, third class is class Ciliata, where the locomotory organs are cilia. Best example, Verticilla, which belongs to the order Peritricha. Then Paramecium, which belongs to the order Holotricha. And then Belantidium coli, it is a parasite living in the rectum of frog. Okay. Then fourth one, class Sporozoa, you don't find any locomotory organs because basically they are all parasites. Monocystis, Plasmodium, etc. So, according to one method of classification which was in practice in earlier days, the phylum is divided into four classes like Rhizopoda or Sarcodyna, Mastigophora or Flagellata, Ciliata and Sporozoa based on the locomotory structures that the protozoans possess. Okay? Yeah, this I have given just to make you familiar with few protozoans. You can see amoeba and entamoeba, okay, which belong to the group Rhizopoda, alright, where the locomotory structure is pseudopodium. Then you can see Euglena, Noctiluca, Trypanosoma, Giardia. All of them have flagellum as the locomotory structure. Okay, Mastigophora are flagellator. And then you can see paramecium and opalina, where the whole body is covered by the cilia, which are the locomotory structures. They belong to the class Ciliata. And here, since the cilia are present all over the surface of the body, paramecium and opalina have been kept under the group Holotricha, whereas in Verticilla, the cilia are predominantly present around the periphery of the mouth. Therefore, it has been kept under the order Peritricha. Okay? But all of them belong to the class Ciliata. Then there is one more class called Sporozoa, where you don't find any locomotory organs as such. Best example, Monocystis. So these are all different protozoans belonging to different classes based on the type of locomotory organs they possess. Okay? Then I told you what I taught is previous method. Previously the classification was like that, but there is recent method of classification. According to that, phylum Protozoa is divided into 5 superclasses. Okay? One Mastigophora, superclass Mastigophora, to which belongs Euglena. Superclass Opalinata, to which belongs Opalina. In fact, this is the only one protozoan that is represented under Opalinata. Okay? Then Sarcodina, superclass Sarcodina, to which belongs Amoeba, Radiolarians, etc. Then superclass Sporozoa, to which belongs Plasmodium. Okay? Then superclass Ciliata, to which belongs Paramecium. So students, till now I have taught you the general characters of the phylum Protozoa, then classification of the phylum up to the level of classes according to previous method of classification, and classification of the phylum into superclasses according to recent method of classification. Hope I have made myself clear. So with this, I complete the chapter on general characters of Protozoa and classification up to the level of classes with suitable examples. Okay? Dear students, thank you for your patient listening. Any questions, you can contact me. Go through the video, go through the study material what I provide you, make some notes, and on a white piece of paper, note down the doubts whatever you get, and whenever you come for contact classes, I will meet you physically, personally, and clarify all your doubts. Till then, stay blessed. Thank you for your patient listening.